Nietzsche warned of a sickness, a physical and moral degeneration that would peak in our times. There's a war on your body, on your mind, and your hormones that goes way deeper than just processed foods, pesticides, and social media. You've been born into an environment that actively suppresses the nature of higher men. Friedrich Nietzsche, the most prolific philosopher of our age, distinguished a higher man by his stronger nature and instincts, by his drive for greatness, growth, and adventure. The last man, on the other hand, is more akin to a domesticated Shih Tzu. It is the human type that no longer aspires beyond himself and instead seeks pleasure, comfort, and safety primarily. This is someone who has lost touch with their instincts, and hence they are more easily controlled. And there is a vast conspiracy today to turn people into the last man. Nietzsche believed that the instincts and the greatness of a man originates in his body. And right now, the body and mind and everything else is under attack. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Wisdom Warriors. My name is Christian. This conspiracy against the greatness within man starts young. We teach our kids how to work hard on bullshit, disconnect from their bodies in stuffy rooms, and achieve ends that are contrary to their nature. We teach them to idolize the overworked slaves of capitalism, aka CEOs and strung out celebrities. All the while, we fail to teach them how to lounge like a god, how to give less fucks about what's unimportant, how to move with relaxed excellence, and most importantly, how to follow their instincts heroically. We basically indoctrinate our kids into a culture of dysregulation. Our economy and upbringing create a persistent state of fear, stress, or unconscious tension in the nervous system, which results in a cortisol-centric life. Basically, dysregulation of the nervous system makes the body tight. It kicks you into fight or self-preservation mode that can be mild and ongoing for years. And as a result, cortisol becomes your dominant hormone instead of testosterone. And this changes everything. Everything in terms of your worldview, your morality, your physical body, and your instincts. When cortisol dominates your life, digestion slows, hormones become imbalanced, and the body weakens. In the past, slaves and peasants lived in a constant state of fear or mild distress, and this shaped their morality around self-preservation and caution. They valued hard work, meekness, kindness, and safety, anything to survive their harsh conditions and keep them safe. In contrast, as Nietzsche noted in the Genealogy of Morals, aristocrats embraced a completely different value system. They valued leisure, courage, excellence, beauty, and martial prowess, qualities most tied to vitality and freedom. The ancient Greek aristocrats were famous for referring to themselves as the truthful ones, because unlike the slaves and merchants, they had the power to tell the truth even if it was to their disadvantage. Basically, their morality revolved around excellence and radical freedom, rather than safety and comfort. And if you know anything about what supports testosterone production, you would see the aristocrats of the past were basically disciples of it. They spent most of their time lounging in repose, competing, or training for war. Their morality, if you could even call it that, was a product of physical vitality rather than mental abstraction. And across history, this was the worldview and lifestyle of the nobility as well as most pagan peoples. They lived a testosterone-centered, high-thumos existence, and all of their myths and culture was set up to sustain that. Now, in the modern day, it's obvious that we lean towards distressed life and slave morality. And this is for a variety of economic and cultural reasons. And I'm not saying you need to go back to owning slaves and lounging on couches all day, but I think we can learn something from this dichotomy between healthy life and distressed life. Part 3. Healthy life is the will to power. Physiologically, that which is most vital is most relaxed. A spring leaf, for instance, is supple and fluid, while a dead leaf of fall is rigid and stiff. Likewise, healthy life is at ease, and yet ready to act with explosive power. This is the opposite of distressed life, which is always busy and near exhaustion. Healthy life is connected to its natural flow of energy and hormones and metabolism, and as a result, it's connected to its instincts. And as Nietzsche pointed out, the instincts of healthy life are absolutely alien to the distressed life of the herd. Quote, "A living thing seeks above all to discharge its strength. Life itself is will to power. Self-preservation is only one of the indirect and most frequent results." Nietzsche believed that the will to power manifests in three dominant ways. The weakest of men seek comfort, while weaker types seek control and power over others, while the strongest and higher types of individuals seek to overflow and express their vitality and will onto the world. This is the pinnacle aim of life, to turn one's existence into a piece of living art. The higher men across history, whether it's Alexander the Great or Magellan, have always chosen the great and daring adventure, even if it might cost them their lives and immense personal suffering. In fact, matters of pain and pleasure and self-preservation barely register when you're convicted by a higher will to power. And I would say that men of a still natural nature want one thing above all, and that is to do something grand and glorious with comrades. This is the essence of every myth, from Lord of the Rings to the Iliad. It is men banding together to express their will to power onto the world, whether that is mastering an open space in a new frontier or overcoming the adversary. Unfortunately, in today's world of the last man, most people are far too distressed and brainwashed to be connected to their natural instincts. And in fact, they seek to tear down the heroes of history, and they seek to tear down any men who are expressing a deeper will to power, because the greatness they see in others creates resentment inside of themselves. Essentially, many people are trying to indoctrinate you into their cult of weak feelings. Nietzsche said, speaking of this decadence, quote, "I call an animal, a species, an individual depraved when it loses its instincts, when it chooses, when it prefers what is harmful to it." The widespread pursuit of comfort happens when people become disconnected from their instincts and their will to power. And this often happens in captivity, where we have less open spaces. It has been said that the monkey in the zoo resorts to jerking off because he has no more open spaces left to master. Similarly, the wage slave living in a city resorts to nihilism and hedonism because he lacks greater meaning and connection. Could you imagine an ancient Viking or any tribesman eating sugar and masturbating all day? Hell no. They have spaces to master, things to explore, and most importantly, they're connected to a myth, a culture, and vital physiology that impels them forward. This is why open spaces and healthy life are synonymous. Open spaces have danger and opportunity, and therefore they foster real community, masculinity, and meaning. They also create a more regulated nervous system, which is the antidote to the pleasure-seeking and distressed life of the modern world. So for everyone here, the quest is simple. Create more openness in your nervous system, openness in your reality, and this will connect you to your deeper instincts and will to power. Part 4, Metabolism and Instincts. This is the most important life-changing part of the video if you want to live from a deeper will to power. But before we get there, I do just want to let you know about the Men's Academy. I'm building this community of men who are discussing these ideas on a weekly basis and applying them. So if you want to find your brotherhood, there's a link below to sign up and talk to me about it one-on-one. All right, back to the video. Living a testosterone-driven life is what connects man to his instincts and destiny. And unfortunately, many things in the modern world disrupt hormones and digestion, and these are far more insidious than you could imagine. Xenoestrogens are a chief culprit. These are synthetic compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. These come from microplastics, and microplastics are found in most of our personal care products, water, and food in a normal grocery store. The average American consumes about a credit card of plastic every week. On top of that, most of the conventional food is sprayed with pesticides like atrazine and glyphosate, both of which have been shown to feminize male animals. Ultimately, if you're not savvy about it, you're going to end up eating a diet that's loaded with chemicals, plastics, and endocrine disruptors, all of which block you from your instincts. Furthermore, most people's diet is slowing down their digestion and metabolism. This creates a vicious cycle of stress, fatigue, and rigidity. Ultimately, a cortisol-driven life that blocks a man's deeper nature. Quote, "All prejudices take their origin in the intestines. A sedentary life is the real sin against the Holy Spirit." I have a whole video about this coming out soon, so make sure to subscribe. But to keep it short here, focus on a nutrient-dense, animal-based diet like grass-fed meat and fruit to clear out toxins, support metabolic health, and restore balance. The stronger your metabolism and hormone balance becomes, the sharper your instincts will be. A slow digestion and fucked up hormones, on the other hand, make life so much harder. And in fact, it creates sluggishness in your thinking, sluggishness in your feeling, and a lack of instinctual life. I believe this is where the death of all higher men and higher culture begins, a weak body. For me, changing my diet and focusing on vitality as my chief priority these past months has been more transformative than all the self-improvement combined. This summer, I took a 3-week retreat hiking in the mountains, and I had this opportunity to set down work for a little while. I felt my instincts and energy levels just come fully back online. And in that, I started my personal YouTube channel. It was the most natural, easy, and joyful thing I've ever done. I remember shooting videos just about my experiences, my philosophy, and what was alive for me on these long hikes and posting them. And these videos are getting thousands of views. And on my way down the mountain, I'm just crying tears of joy because it felt like the storm clouds that lived in my life and in my body had passed and the sun was shining for the first time. It felt like my life had become frictionless. There was less friction between my instinct and action. And this is the goal of life to me, to become a living embodiment of your will to power, to actualize your deepest instinct and essence and live from it, express it. I've been on a health journey for a long time, and your process is going to be unique to you. But ultimately, as you become healthier and more connected to your instincts, a walk in the forest, a sit by the lake, just thinking, writing, speaking, creating, conquering, all of these things become joyful. They become natural. And as you become more relaxed and powerful in life, the more your intuition speaks. This is how you become who you are meant to be. Thanks for watching Wisdom Warriors. My name is Christian, and before you go, I am looking for a few more leaders to join our YouTube Mastermind for 2025. If you want to start an educational channel or a personal channel like this is for you. I'm building an awesome team. There's the first link in the description to apply and learn more. If that's not for you, I encourage you to click here for my last video on the shadow work of higher men and why higher men often destroy themselves. Anyways, don't forget to live dangerously today. Peace.